Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jose and this is Jose Talks Sports. If you're as big of a sports fan as I am, you enjoy talking about the NFL, the NBA, professional wrestling, even boxing on occasion, then you've come to the right place. For those of you that are familiar with my content, you know that I wanted to incorporate more professional wrestling topics on this channel. It's something that I've always been a fan of ever since I was a young kid. It's something I feel that more people should discuss, and I feel like it's an entertaining way to not only see drama, but also combining with athleticism. And obviously you clicked on this video for one reason, and that was because I'm recapping Monday Night Raw, the August 8th edition, which emanated from Cleveland, Ohio. Monday Night Raw and the WWE are in an interesting state of flux where there is a new regime coming in. Obviously, Vince McMahon had to retire suddenly due to the accusations and the allegations that he's going through at the moment. Obviously, there's a new head of creative with Triple H. There's a new co-CEO with Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon. So a lot of changes are expected to be made throughout the next coming months, weeks, or however time it's going to take for all these changes to be implemented. I know for me personally, I'm really looking forward to the television aspect and seeing a new head of creative in Triple H. Really interested to see the new ideas and the new presentation of the product. We know what he was able to present in NXT back when it was the black and gold brand. I thought that was some of the best television in terms of wrestling at that time. A lot of the stars that they had brought in were of the independent scene. You had your guys like Adam Cole, Ricochet, Ciampa, Gargano, Samoa Joe, the list goes on. Obviously though, we're talking about Monday Night Raw, and under the new Triple H regime, we're starting to see some changes being made in terms of storyline and significance. Recently, a lot of the women's division is being presented in a way it hasn't been in some time. Obviously, when there is a women's championship match in the mix, you wanna capture the significance and the importance of both combatants. But in recent television episodes, we're starting to see a little bit more explored in terms of the tag team division, which is something they sorely lacked in the last few years. In fact, they're actually introducing that tag team tournament we were promised back in May when Sasha Banks and Naomi had walked out as the women's tag team champions. And also, ever since Bayley returned at SummerSlam with Dakota Kai and Io Sky by her side, definitely seeing some more of them on television as they're feuding with Bianca Belair, who is the women's champion, as well as Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Now, I'm a fan of all 6 of these women, and I'm really intrigued into the story that they're telling. In fact, it was just announced on Monday Night Raw that they're going to be doing a 6-person tag team match at Clash at the Castle. It was on this episode that Dakota Kai and Io Sky would defeat Tamina and Dana Brooke to advance in the tag team tournament to crown the new women's tag team champions. But one thing I have noticed is that they're able to take this storyline, take this feud between these 6 women, and really sprinkle it throughout the episode, whether it's through backstage promos, in-ring segments, wrestling matches, just different ways of telling the story and having it expand over time and really resonate with the crowd. Rather than just throwing them in matches and saying, oh yeah, these two don't like each other, they're really allowing for moments of these interactions between the two teams and telling the audience and showing the audience why it is that they don't like each other, why they're going to fight, and why this match at Clash at the Castle is going to take place. A lot of storytelling is being shared with the audience in a more comprehensible type of way. And what I mean with that is we're able to take established stars and know what they have experienced in the past and their qualities as a character, and really use it to further storylines, which I think is just the best aspect of wrestling, is when you're able to take the athleticism and the stardom of an individual and use it as a way to propel the story. For example, we haven't seen Kevin Owens in the last couple weeks, yet he was on this episode of Monday Night Raw, in the ring with Ezekiel, who he's been feuding with for a couple months, and honestly, it began to drag. They have a match on Monday Night Raw. It doesn't really end. It's basically in a no contest. He lifts him up in the pop-up powerbomb and powerbombs him on the apron, a move we haven't seen for quite some time, but is very synonymous with his feud with Sami Zayn back in NXT. When Kevin Owens first debuted, it was well established that he and Sami Zayn were best friends. Back in Ring of Honor, it was Kevin Steen and El Generico, and he betrays his friend on his first night, the same night that Sami Zayn would win the NXT World Championship, and he betrays him, does the pop-up powerbomb on the apron, and establishes himself as the top heel in NXT, all in the first night. I'm hoping that we're going to see more of this Kevin Owens, the fiery heel that I became a fan of when he first came on the main roster and fought with John Cena. He would then win the Universal Championship a year later with the the help of Triple H. So very interested to see what they do with Kevin Owens moving forward. Also moving forward, I mean, you've seen what they've done with Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, ever since, debuting on the main roster, he's been playing second fiddle with The Miz, being his protege, if you will. But we all know what Ciampa is capable of, seeing his time in NXT. Not only is he a master in the ring, but he's great on the mic, and you've seen the promos that he's been cutting these last couple of weeks, really showing the intensity and the fiery side of Ciampa that we've come to know and love from his time in NXT and chasing Goldie. Also, speaking of Ciampa, we go to the United States Championship match, and one thing I thought that was very prominent and interesting and promising in a way was the presentation of the US title. We saw a segment where it really went through the lineage and the past champions, and it highlighted guys, like Bret Hart, guys like Harley Race, Ric Flair, Sting, guys that have won this US title, and really elevating it and making it feel like this is a title that many people should be vying for. On top of that, you have the references to Harley Race and, Ciampa wearing a robe that was very reminiscent to Harley Race and what he wore, even dedicating his match to Harley Race, who was a former mentor of Ciampa during his time developing as the wrestler that he is today. And it's little things like that that I enjoy as a wrestling fan, when we're able to pay homage to the past while also moving forward with the future. Clearly something Triple H wants to be doing from now on, because it's been well documented, it's been well known. He's a student of the game. He loves wrestling. He's learned so much from these legends, guys like Race, guys like Killer Kowalski, guys like Ric Flair. And it's one thing to keep moving forward with the product, but it's nice to see when they're able to pay homage and respect to those that have paved the way these last few years, in these last few decades, if you will. It was an entertaining match between Lashley and Ciampa, both coming out looking strong. Me personally, I was going for Ciampa. I really wanted to see him win this US title, but I think they made the right call having Lashley win. He's a formidable foe for anybody that's going to be going for this US title. And then moving forward, there's more intrigue with Ciampa. I mean, you look at what he was able to produce with Lashley, and the intrigue and the interest he was able to amass in just a short time. I think it's only a matter of time between they split him and The Miz and they do their own feud. I like Ciampa as a heel, that paranoid, the psycho killer gimmick that he had in NXT. A very big fan of that. And then one thing we've noticed with Triple H and how these storylines have been driven so far is, so far each episode there's a trend, and that is each segment kind of bleeds into the next. We gradually go throughout the episode. It's not like a sudden change and shift where, okay, we're doing this and then boom, we're doing this. No. There's instances where it's like, okay, for example, there was a segment where Bailey, Sky, and Kai were in the back and they were being interviewed, and the camera starts to pull away, and then we start shifting over towards the right side of the screen, and out comes AJ Styles, and now we start following AJ Styles. And little things like that, it's beautiful. It's seamless, it's effortless, and just something as simple as that kind of camera angle, whereas we're following one group, and in the midst of it we start following a new individual, all in the same shot. It really shows us a different side of the backstage aspects of wrestling, where these guys are just walking by each other, interacting with each other all the time. But the reason I mentioned with this seamless approach of storytelling is in the US title match, The Miz gets involved and he's ran away by AJ Styles, which leads to a no disqualification match in the main event of Monday Night Raw. And of course, it's AJ Styles, it's The Miz, two consummate professionals. It's the match you would expect it would be, an entertaining affair between a high-flying legend like AJ Styles and a professional heel in The Miz. But what I took away from the match, not only did AJ Styles emerge victorious, but we saw some instances in the backstage arena where there was like a car accident, and we saw security guards running back and forth, almost looking for someone. And I remember watching it and thinking with my brother, what's going on? That's weird. And we never addressed it. And by the time the match ended, AJ Styles versus The Miz, I kind of already forgotten about it. But then we show this one shot in the audience where there's security guards, basically detaining someone who looked like they were trying to, jump the barricade. And he's a hooded figure. They start pulling him away, and seemingly his hood comes undone, and we see it's Dexter Lumis. And I immediately, look at my brother and I say, "Is that Dexter Lumis?" And he says, "No way." And I said, "That dude, that's Dexter," which is interesting because seeing the former NXT talent that Triple H has been bringing into the television show. At SummerSlam, we saw Dakota Kai return. On Friday Night SmackDown, we see Karrion Kross and Scarlett return, which it seems like he's going to be in the main event scene, and I'm really excited to see that. And now we have Dexter Lumis seemingly in the mid card. Obviously, I'm interested to see, what position he's going to be placed in, whether it's a heel or babyface, because he kind of looked, paranoid, kind of looked a little crazy, as almost like a heel. But I mean, who knows? It was in Cleveland, Ohio, home of Johnny Gargano, who was leader of the Way. I would like to see a feud maybe between Theory and Dexter Lumis. I think that'd be really cool. Again, a reference to their time being in the Way. But Monday Night Raw, again, another interesting show, a fun show. So far they've been racking off, a couple good episodes of Monday Night Raw. I really enjoyed last week's Friday Night SmackDown. I'm looking forward to what they do this week on Friday Night SmackDown. But tell me what you guys thought about Monday Night Raw. Go ahead and drop your comments down in the comments section on what you thought about Monday Night Raw. What are you thinking they're going to do with Dexter Lumis? What are your thoughts on Kevin Owens? And overall, what's your feel for the new regime of Triple H and the creative role that he's been doing so far? If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, thumbs up, share it, subscribe to the channel, go ahead and tell your friends. Looking forward to what we do with Friday Night SmackDown and NXT, even All Elite Wrestling. I do plan on incorporating more NFL once the season starts up, as well as the NBA when that season starts up. But I'm hoping to be more active on this channel here. Once again, I want to give a big thanks to those that have already subscribed to the channel. I'm going through the analytics, and a lot of the views are coming from those that aren't subscribed, so please subscribe to the channel. It really does help. And for those that have always been supportive to me, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Continue to share the video, tell your friends. It'll only grow more with time. Of course, my name is Jose. This is Jose Talks Sports, and I will catch you guys in the next video.